Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. What I wanted to do, I have what I call economy all-purpose cleaners, degreasers, whatever you want to call them. Most of them are alkaline based. I think the only one that's not alkaline based is going to be the Purple Power, which I think someone told me it's lye based. It's kind of a, I'll get into it when I start to use it. There's things I love about Purple Power and there's things I don't like about it, and I'll talk about it in this video. But what I have here is stuff. My criteria for this video was, can you get an all-purpose cleaner in a gallon? Can it be around $10 or less? And can you dilute it 4-to-1 and still get some nice cutting power from it? Because here's the deal, as a business owner, this is kind of my criteria for this test. If I can buy it in a gallon and it costs around $10 or less, and I can cut it 4-to-1 and still get great cutting ability with it, that gives me 5 gallons per gallon. That is, to me, that's just the winning number for me when it comes to my business and my numbers and my pocketbook. That's basically why I'm doing it. It may not make sense for you, but that's how I'm doing this test. Now what I have here is this stuff here. A lot of the stuff you can buy at the dollar store, you can buy it at Lowe's, you can buy it in an auto parts store or Walmart. This stuff here, the first one in the lineup is, what is this stuff? Mean Green Super Strength Cleaner and Degreaser. Now we have Purple Power. We can get the stuff at Walmart. By the way, Mean Green, you can get that stuff at the dollar store, Dollar General, whatever. Then we got Purple Power. We got LA's Totally Awesome. I'm also throwing this little guy in the mix too, which is Greased Lightning. It's their Super Strength Cleaner and Degreaser. The next one is going to be Zepp, the all-purpose cleaner and degreaser. I think that was about $6.84 at Lowe's. And then Super Clean. Super Clean is sold at Walmart. I think Walmart wants around $11 for it. I noticed some parts stores, whether it be O'Reilly's or AutoZone, usually has it just under $10, like $9.95 by the gallon. So that's the lineup there. Super Clean, Zepp all-purpose cleaner, Greased Lightning. Again, you can find that stuff at the dollar store. I think that 40-ounce bottle, and you can get it by the gallon, by the way, or you might have to get two 64-ounce bottles. But anyway, you can get that stuff at the dollar store. LA's Totally Awesome, Purple Power, and Mean Green. Now, the deal here is that I've got a leather seat out of the back of an old Cadillac. The Cadillac, I think, was an '09 Cadillac. This thing is pretty hammered. It's dirty. It's gross. It's been sitting in the back of a Cadillac that hasn't been moved in many, many years. In fact, there's no engine in it. I have a good friend that owns a junkyard. I went to him yesterday and I said, let me steal one of those seats out of the cars you got back there. This is the one I found. He said, no problem, take it, Scott, enjoy it and have fun. So the purpose of this video is what economy APCs are going to be the best bang for your buck, can clean a really nasty, dirty seat that hasn't been cleaned in years, sitting at a junkyard. And we're going to use this small little color lock brush. All of the chemicals have been diluted 4-to-1. Roughly that's 6.4 ounces. So what I did was I put 3/4 of a cup of all the product in these bottles, and then I filled it up only using distilled water. The reason why I wanted to use distilled water, I want to keep it fair across the board. You might have hard water, you might have soft water, so I don't want water becoming an issue with how these products perform. So that's basically what we're going to do there. Now, of course, there are many other excuse me, all-purpose cleaners out there, but these are the ones that are relatively easy to get. You can get them right away at your corner store, and you're golden and you're ready to go. One of the things I noticed right away, Super Clean diluted 4-to-1. The product looks somewhat bright. Looks like there's a lot of product in it. That's nice. It doesn't look like when you apply water to it, it really starts to break down. The Zepp all-purpose cleaner and degreaser seems like it holds up with 3/4 of a cup, six ounces of product in it, 4-to-1. Holds up nice. It's nice and green, almost matches. It's, you know, of course it's diluted, so it's not going to be the same color as the full concentrate. Now the Grease Lightning, a little hard to determine that because Grease Lightning actually is a clear liquid, but that's mixed 4-to-1. One of the things I thought was interesting, LA's Totally Awesome diluted 4-to-1 with distilled water. Boy, the distilled bottle almost looks, it's slightly yellow. It really loses its color. It really looks like the concentration breaks down drastically at 4-to-1, but who knows? Its cutting power may still be great. Then we have Purple Power mixed at 4-to-1. The bottle looks pretty good. Didn't look like it really broke down the Purple Power by the gallon. Yes, it diluted it 4-to-1. It did lose its purple punch, but it still looks pretty decent. Now Mean Green mixed at 4-to-1. It's not as bright green as it is in its full strength form, but it looks halfway decent. LA's Totally Awesome kind of surprised me a little bit at 4-to-1. It almost looked like it took all the yellow out of the full concentrate and knocked it down. It looks to me like it's mainly water, but who knows? Let's see what it does. So, excuse me for shaking here and holding this camera, but here's this hammered leather seat out of a Cadillac. It's gray. So we're going to just do a little test panel for each one of these products. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of the product, use my color lock brush, and just lightly agitate, maybe go back and forth 5 or 6 times to keep it even all the way across the board, and then just mop up and see what we get. Again, everything's been diluted with distilled water, so there shouldn't be any issues with the hardness of the water or the softness of the water, whatever I may have here at my home. The reason why I wanted to make this video, there was another reason for it too, is that I did a boat, a 21-foot boat, and I was using Meguiar's Super Degreaser, and the area wasn't all that ventilated. The boat was inside a storage facility, and it really started to get to me. If you've ever used Meguiar's Super Degreaser at 4-to-1 and I was cleaning some really nasty vinyl on a boat, my issue is because I was in a confined area, there wasn't a lot of ventilation, holy crap, it became overwhelming trying to use a very strong cleaner to clean that boat. So out of all these products, these 6 products, I've got one that I really like, but we'll talk about it as we go. But I ended up using one of these cleaners here to finish up my boat job, which was a 21-foot boat job to clean all the vinyl, and I was awfully impressed with its ability to keep up with Meguiar's Super Degreaser and at the same time not be so obnoxious. Again, I was working in a non-ventilated area. I didn't want to use a chemical that was so harsh. It was just about killing me. But I'm going to set this camera down. Just bear with me. It could be a little shaky. Try to set it up so we can still see what's going on. Hold on, guys. Sorry. So here we go. What I'm going to do, the first product I'm going to check, I'm going to go from left to right, my left to right anyway. I'm going to use Super Clean first on a little small area and see how it responds. Again, these products are all diluted at 4-to-1. I'm just going to use this small little panel here. I'm not going to apply a lot of product, just a little bit. And the minute I spray Super Clean, it already has begun to break down a lot of that dirt. The water or the solution is dripping and it's pulling a lot of the grime with it. But I'll go over this panel quickly. I'm not going to sit here and scrub forever. I kind of want to keep it equal across the board, but I'm just going to do it enough to maybe let the product flash a little bit, kind of dry on me. I'm not applying a lot of pressure, and then I'm going to mop up. That's about it. And I'll try to keep that rhythm and pressure for each one of these products. I'm going to mop up. That to me is pretty impressive. Light agitation. Again, this thing hasn't been cleaned in years. Been sitting in a junkyard. It's got grease, grime, dust, dirt all over it. And that looks really great. So that's the Super Clean there. Worked really well. Then what I'm going to do, excuse me, I'm going to get in the way a little bit. I'm going to use the Zep all-purpose cleaner down here and try not to get any of these chemicals to kind of cross-contaminate with one another. But let me go ahead and just spray enough on I don't want to saturate it. Just let it sit there. One thing I'm noticing about Zep, it didn't respond as well as Super Clean did. It already beginning to break down the grease and grime. But I'll go here and agitate. Again, not a lot of pressure. I really want the product to kind of show me what it can do. Go over this little area of the panel. It's not breaking down the dirt, grease, and grime like it did with Super Clean, but it's doing an okay job. That's about enough. The product is kind of flashing on me and drying. I'm going to come in here and clean this up. Just mop up after myself. It's not bad. I got some overspray here, so I'm going to just remove that. Right off the bat, Zep All-Purpose Cleaner versus Super Clean. This needs to be done again. I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit closer, but this is not as bright, as brilliant. This needs to be hit one more time to truly get this clean, or get it as clean as Super Clean. But not bad. $6.84, mix 4 to 1. You're going to get 5 gallons for that. You just may have to go over twice. Not a big deal. You decide what works in your world. I'm not seeing any issues with it degrading the leather. It's not changing its color. Against the Zep All-Purpose Cleaner, I'd have to go over it twice to get the full effect. But here I go with, this is the Greased Lightning. I've never used this stuff before, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Greased Lightning, Superstrate, bought it at the dollar store, mix 4 to 1. Just going to hit it on this panel. Come on, you little stupid sprayer. Again, I don't want a lot of product on there, just enough to kind of cover it. And then I'm going to go in here and lightly agitate back and forth. It's breaking down the grease and grime, but I noticed when I first sprayed it, it didn't break down the grease and grime like Super Clean did. Even before I started to agitate it, I just saw it melting the dirt. But here we go with the Greased Lightning, doing this one little area here, going back and forth. I can tell you right away, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but Greased Lightning, 4 to 1, this does not look like it's really doing all that great of a job, but I'll agitate it some more. I just don't see its cutting ability. This would be a waste of time for me, but you guys have to decide if it works in your world. Again, this is a pretty extreme case. This thing hasn't been cleaned in years, been sitting in a junkyard. I'll wipe that up. Yeah, I would probably, if I use the Greased Lightning to clean this whole seat, I'd probably have to go over this seat 2 or 3 times with Greased Lightning. That's not all that impressive. So far, Super Clean was the best. Zep All-Purpose Cleaner wasn't bad. I'd have to go over it twice. The Greased Lightning, mix 4 to 1. Again, all the products are 4 to 1. This area here looks like I'd have to go over it 2 to 3 times. That's probably not going to be a product that I keep in my arsenal, but you guys have to decide. LA's totally awesome. I'm going to try not to cross-contaminate any of this stuff, and I know that's difficult, but I got a dirty panel here. LA's totally awesome, mix 4 to 1. I noticed when I mixed it, I went, holy crap, it almost looks like water. It's got a slight yellow tint to it, but let's see its cutting power. I'll do it right next to the Greased Lightning. I'll just try to keep this consistent, not too much product, as much product as I'm using on all the tests. I'm going to come in here and scrub. I'm noticing right off the bat, LA's totally awesome, 4 to 1 on this really nasty leather is not going to be a winner for me. I probably would have to use it full strength. And if I do, I know it's pretty cheap, but I like to dilute products if I can, kind of extend my buck. But LA's totally awesome at 4 to 1 on that panel. Was just as good, maybe slightly worse than the Greased Lightning. They're so close to one another as far as comparison, but 4 to 1 with LA's totally awesome. Holy crap, I probably have to do it 2 or 3 times. So I'm not a big fan of 4 to 1 with LA's totally awesome. Now at full strength or 1 to 1 could be totally different, but I want to test them evenly across the board. Purple Power, mix 4 to 1. I'll use this little dirty area here, try to keep it consistent. This is mix 4 to 1, Purple Power. Hit some on this panel. Just enough to kind of cover it. I'm going to go in here and start scrubbing. Again, all these products with distill were distilled. They were They were cut or diluted with distilled water, so I don't have any issues with hard water, lots of calcium or deposits in the water. The product really can stand on its own with distilled water. Again, I'm not applying a lot of pressure, just going over it lightly, 5, 6, 10 times, trying to keep the same rhythm here. Then I'll come in here and mop up. What do I think of Purple Power? Purple Power on leather or on vinyl or in plastic, this did a pretty good job. Not as good a job as Super Clean. Right now, Super Clean is winning. Excuse me. Purple Power and Zepp All-Purpose Cleaner seem to be tied here. May have to go over it twice. But here's an issue I have with Purple Power. Purple Power leaves kind of a glossy finish behind when you're using it, and it's deceptive. I want a product that flashes and dries after I use it, and when I mop it up, and this is where my issue with Purple Power comes in the issue here, becomes a problem for me. It leaves the panel slightly glossy, almost like it has some type of conditioner in it. I know it doesn't, but it's what it's based in, and it becomes deceptive because if it's glossy, I can't really tell if I pulled all the dirt and grime out of the grain of the leather, because that glossy look can kind of deceive me a little bit. So I find myself having to go over something twice with Purple Power regardless, just to make sure I have it. But Purple Power, not all that bad, did pretty decent here. I just don't like the fact that it takes a long time for it to dry or evaporate. Even after I mop up, it looks a little glossy, and that can become deceptive when you want to know, did I get all the dirt? So that's kind of a thumbs down for Purple Power, but its cutting ability was really impressive here. And now we'll use the last one, which is the Mean Green Super Strength Cleaner and Degreaser, mixed 4-to-1. I'm going to use this area right here next to the Purple Power. I'm going to bring you guys in and show you what happened. I just spray that on there. It's not breaking down the grease and grime, it's just kind of sitting on the surface, but I'll go ahead and agitate lightly. I can tell you right now, 4-to-1, this is almost pointless, it's almost useless. Mean Green seems to be the worst out of the bunch. But I'll give it a chance, I'll keep agitating here, and then I'll mop up. You know, again, some of these that I'm saying aren't that great. I guess if you use them full strength it might work, but for me, as a business owner, if you guys are professional detailers, you're probably not looking to buy something full strength. Doesn't make sense. You want to extend your buck and go from there. Alright, I'll pull you in and show you what happened. Sorry, it's going to be a little shaky. Now here is what I used the Super Clean on. That's impressive to me. One shot of the Super Clean, lightly agitate it and mop up. Look at the 50-50 between there and there. And when I noticed when I sprayed it, before I even agitated, it started to break down the grease and grime. Here is Zepp All-Purpose Cleaner, the green stuff. Not bad, pretty impressive. I do have to go over it again. There's some stuff in the graining here. Hopefully it's showing up on the camera. I probably maybe would want to kick it up for this particular seat, maybe 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, where I could get it all in one shot, but using all these chemicals at the same dilution, 4-to-1, I still have to go over this a second time, but not bad. Now when we come over here, this is where I used the Grease Lightning on the, I think I did, yes, the Grease Lightning was here, right next to the Zepp All-Purpose Cleaner. Not impressive at all. There's still a lot of dirt in the graining here at 4-to-1. This would not be a product I'd be buying. Again, if you buy it straight, maybe that makes sense in your world, but not for me as a business owner. Now, LA's totally awesome. Up here at 4-to-1, no thank you. I would have to dilute it more. I'd have to go over this using it 4-to-1 a couple more times. Doesn't make sense to me. 4-to-1 doesn't seem to work for this seat. Purple Power. Purple Power is pretty impressive, but you notice this glossy stuff here? There's a residue that's left behind with Purple Power that's so annoying that you really can't see the full effect of how you're cleaning, because it really doesn't seem to want to evaporate or dry right away. But Purple Power did a pretty good job, even on one application. I probably would have go over it again a second time, but again, I'm not a big fan that it leaves the product a little glossy. It takes a long time for it to evaporate and flash, and that can be deceptive when you're trying to see if you've cut through grease and grime, because if the product's glossy, it can deceive you. Mean Green, holy crap, the worst of the bunch. Maybe LA's Totally Awesome 4-to-1 and Mean Green were the worst. This stuff here really didn't do anything at all. It's still dirty, still slimy. I'd have to probably go over it 3 or 4 times. The reason I made this video, when I was working on that boat in the non-ventilated area, guess which one was the greatest cleaner on the planet, in my opinion, for the dollar? It was Super Clean. You want to know why? Diluted 4-to-1, same as Meguiar's Super Degreaser. It got the boat as clean as Meguiar's Super Degreaser. I mixed it 4-to-1, just like I would mix my Super Degreaser for some really heavy standing and heavy soils on vinyl on the boat. The other thing that's great about Super Clean, it's not obnoxious. It's not going to kill you with its vapors. And I'll spray it right here on this dirty panel. Again, this is 4-to-1. And as I spray this, I don't know if it will show up, but if I run my finger through here, my finger's dirty. This is already beginning to break down the grease and grime. And I'll just simply take my brush, come in here, and then I'll mop up. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so bear with me, guys. To me, the graining is pretty bad. There's some little dirt in there. I'd have to get a little bit more aggressive with it. But 4-to-1, Super Clean, it doesn't have that. It is alkaline based. It's not super obnoxious like Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner. Out of all these all-purpose cleaners or degreasers, guys, in my opinion, Super Clean is a great buy at $9.95. I find it at parts stores, diluted 4-to-1. That gives me 5 gallons. It doesn't hurt products or doesn't hurt materials. Seems to be safe on leather, vinyl, plastic. I am awfully impressed with Super Clean. It cuts through grease and grime really well, and it's not obnoxious. Mix 4-to-1. It's not going to kill you with its vapors, and that was really important for me when it came to cleaning vinyl on that boat that wasn't in a ventilated area. So this is, out of all these cleaners, guys, if it was me, the winners here out of all this deal, I like Super Clean. It's the best to me as far as I'm concerned with all these. Zep all-purpose cleaner, not bad. Maybe you want to go up to 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 with it. That's cool, but it does a pretty good job. Grease Lightning, get rid of it. LA's Totally Awesome. Looks like you're going to have to use it full strength or maybe 1-to-1. Purple Power, not bad with cutting grease, but it leaves a glossy finish behind. I don't like that. Mean Green, forget it. Don't even bother with it. You decide what works in your world. Super Clean, I've got my eyes all over it. Been using it for months. Impressed with it. And I think I'm going to be using it quite a bit. $9 a gallon. 4-to-1 to me is fine. I'm getting 5 gallons out of it. Makes my life easy. Easy to get my hands on. Again, I love Meguiar's all-purpose cleaner, Super Degreaser, not getting rid of it. But take a look at Super Clean. I think this stuff